All right.
the damn plays.
Mike McGlinchey got a 5-year contract today from the Denver Broncos. I was shocked. $87 million. Why?
Because offensive line plays horrible, and he's been healthy, and he's got a reputation as a guy who will play dinged up. And he's got high character.
That's true.
And I think that's really it. Supply and demand, Grant. Supply and demand. But the thing about McGlinchey, he was pretty good. Like, as far as pretty good player. But then when you factor in the 9th pick in the draft and he played right tackle, no, he's you didn't need to invest the 9th pick in the draft on him, especially on a right tackle who doesn't have great pass blocking ability. But it's funny, I saw one weakness that kind of broke down his whole game. He just had a weakness kicking out quickly against the league's fastest speed rushers. Yep. And what happened was he would compensate with it by getting so off balance that then you could club him and he would go flying with no base. And it led to some really bad looking plays on video. And so I think we all those all circulated. So there's the image of him is so much worse. He actually graded out pretty highly compared to average right tackles across the league. And there's just a dearth of good O linemen. And especially,
but his lowlights are crazy bad. His lowlights are
it's the same issue.
Bad.
It's the same issue. Like if you who gave do you remember that game against the Eagles when he went up against, I think it was Jannard Avery, and he just ate his lunch? I mean, the smaller, quicker guys are the guys that McGlinchey just is lunging for, and then he's knocked off balance, and then you can counter, or he's leaping outside to get the speed rusher to the point where a club to his left shoulder just knocks him flying. So to me, it was just that one issue, is that he just didn't have the quickness to kick out like that, and it just broke the rest of his game down as a pass protector.
There was always this debate among Niner fans and analysts, like, is he good? Whatever you'd think he was, to me, when he was out of the lineup, they never missed him. I felt like Tom Compton did his job. Colton McKivitz did his job. So did they lose much? I don't think so. I think they'll be fine. And the idea of not having to pay him whatever it was, like how much is he making? 19 cents. I can't even do the math.
It's I got it here. It's 17 5 years, $87.5 million with 50 plus guaranteed.
15, 16. I don't know. I can't do the math, but it's a lot. And the fact that
the only part that matters is the guarantee. He got $50 million.
$50 million guaranteed. Denver, what are you thinking? That's an awful contract.
Awful.
That's an awful contract. Between that and the Russell Wilson contract, what are they doing in Denver?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I would have been mad if the 49ers gave that kind of money to McGlinchey, because that's just a dramatic overpay. But
I totally agree.
And you said it already. They got by with Compton. They got by with other Colton McKivitz. I think they can get by with, maybe you re-sign a Compton. Maybe you have Colton McKivitz and you still have Jalen Moore, and maybe you go into the draft in the mid rounds and maybe one guy on day 2, maybe another guy on day 3, maybe make a couple investments in the offensive line in the draft. I mean, that's and guys that you like, but I wouldn't pay Brundle and I wouldn't pay McGlinchey, and I'm kind of glad they didn't pay McGlinchey.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to choose, spend $16 million or whatever a year on Mike McGlinchey or spend a little bit more on Javon Hargrave, I mean, it's not even a question. Javon Hargrave is a legitimate impact player. Mike McGlinchey, you could say he's serviceable right tackle. Serviceable right tackle with some horrendous moments. So, yeah, then I just made the right call. I really don't know what the AFC West in general. Like, you're really telling me that's the game-changing move for Denver? Watch out, Kansas City. We got Mike McGlinchey. Or the Raiders. Watch out. We got Jimmy coming to town. Like, all right, guys, you're going nowhere. But,
like,
okay.
Are you trying to win, or are you just trying not to lose by less? Are you trying to lose by less?
That's well put. Impulsive says McGlinchey to Hamburglar. He reminds you of the Hamburglar from McDonald's? That's not nice. Trade Trey and Eric Armstead for a first-round pick. Get Paris Johnson, the Ohio State U day 1 right tackle. Trent Williams in 2 seasons. Trey and Eric Armstead for a first-round pick. Armstead. Be a lot of dead money this year. They trade Armstead. But next year they might. I don't know that Armstead.
Any NFL trades, really.
You really don't. Like the multiplayer, you really don't. Why is that?
It's a great question. I don't know. I have no idea why we don't see trades, but we've seen more of them than we have in the past. But remember, the
whole dead cap thing makes it tough to move players. You know what I mean? You never have to worry about that in basketball.
We're trading him, and then all of a sudden you'll see a report on Monday. This player is going to be traded. And then on Tuesday, he'll be like, and if he's not traded, he's going to be released. It's like,
then just release him.
Why would
no one's going to trade him? What are you talking about?
Like,
yeah. What are you hoping for, like a pick swap?
On Monday, Leonard Floyd report, he'll be traded. On Tuesday, if he's not traded, he'll be released. And then on Wednesday,
let me call him up and trade for him. I hear you're going to release him. Let me give you an offer.
Yeah. Take my picks. I don't want them.
All right, that's all we got. Is there anything else you want to talk about that's on your mind today before we wrap up?
Well,
that's all they've done.
What would you say, like right now, based on where the roster is? I saw, Jack Hammer had a rumor like the Niners are interested in Zadarius Smith. Is it edge rusher? Is it corner? Is it an impact guy in the secondary? Is it re-signing a guy who, says you're the real deal, and Jimmy Ward? Did you
love Jimmy Ward? I love Jimmy Ward.
The whole IG thing on Jimmy Ward.
Yeah, absolutely. Jimmy Ward's the greatest. But I got to be objective here. Sorry, Jimmy. The biggest needs are on offense on this team. It's center and right tackle. I feel like the Niners have a great left tackle and two promising young guards, and then nothing else. They can get by with Colton McKivitz, but I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl with Colton McKivitz. I don't even know if they're going to win an NFC Championship with Colton McKivitz, and that's the whole thing. So, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. I know it's too expensive. They can't afford a starting right tackle in free agency. Go get a starting center and then draft a right tackle who can start right away. Not easy to do, but that's what they got to do, in my opinion. They got to find solutions at those two spots, and I don't consider McKivitz. He's a Band-Aid. He's a Band-Aid.
I like McKivitz a lot, but I'd like to have another player there, in addition to him. I don't know about the center spot. I actually think they can get by at center with Zakel or somebody like that.
I want to get by, though. I want that guy to be a weapon like Creed Humphrey or Jason Kelce. I know it's not easy to find.
When I say get by, I think they could be better than Brendel, what Brendel was this year. Brendel was a Pro Bowl alternate. What do you think? Aziz has moved on. Ridgeway's moved on. And then there was a report that the Niners have interested in Trey Herndon. It sounds like maybe they're looking for a slot corner.
I like Trey Herndon. I know Trey. Trey Herndon went to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
How do I know that? He went to Vanderbilt. He's good.
Played for Jacksonville.
I think he was undrafted. Trent Baalke got him. He's good. He's not great.
I really like Trey Herndon. He's a hell of a corner, Grant. Trent Baalke here, and Trey, he's got an ACL.
But I like him. I think it would be a nice little addition. Clayton says Hargrave is just like me, both one gap penetrators.
Yes,
thank you, Clayton.
nice.
That was so good.
Clayton.
I love how pretty much all sports jargon is just complete sexual innuendo. Everything a play-by-play basketball announcer says is just like, my kids are here. Stop talking about,
man. Look at him pound the rock.
It's all about penetration. Thank you. Yes, that is the key to life. Pete Ruiz says now all we need is Deuce Vaughn, and it's automatic. I don't understand. Deuce Vaughn, and who's Deuce Vaughn?
Deuce Vaughn is the running back from K-State. He's like 5'7".
Oh, I like the dude from Texas A&M. A-Chain. Devon A-Chain. He's good.
A-Chain, yeah. He's fast. I'm an A&M fan. He's an unbelievable home run hitter. Crazy.
I want to see Jason Poe this. I really can't wait for Jason Poe. What is the plan?
Center.
I don't know. If he can snap, I think he can play the position. I've seen him block. He'd be perfect.
I like.
But I don't know. Can he snap?
And I like Zakel. I think they're.
I like Poe.
I'd be okay in the interior with what they have. But I'd like to see. It would be great to see a Caleb McGarry. I'll tell you what I would love is I would love to do what they just did tomorrow, and go get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson away from the Eagles.
Yeah.
If you take Hargrave and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson away, now you're cooking with grease.
With Jason Poe, I see it. He's a hell of an athlete. He's really strong. He's just short, and he hasn't taken snaps before. Zakel isn't like an off the charts athlete. He's very smart. He's big. What is the vision there with Zakelj?
Because if you've watched him, like his 2-hand shiver initially, he just absolutely stonewalls the defenders.
Okay.
His lockout. I'd love to know what the guy benches, because he hits
so he's
you
strong.
hard.
He's
there's
strong.
a nastiness about Zakelj.
Okay.
And there's a strength. I think also he's got an ability to put on some good weight, where I think Brendel's kind of pumped up at 280, 285. I think Zakelj could be like 320 or 310, 315.
Okay.
He can give you a little bit more stout.
I see. So he's just way bigger. And size is something that's important, because you gotta block Chris Jones. You gotta block Jordan Davis. How big is that guy? He's replacing
360.
Yeah, he's replacing Javon Hargrave in Philly. Jordan Davis. It's 360. Yeah, you might need some size at center. That's a good point.